It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masakho. We've reached that time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following for you throughout the course of the day have advanced. This is your lunchtime update. Our reporters are out and about bringing you the latest on today's top stories. I'm joined now by Manqoba Mchunu, who is in our Joburg studios. Hloni Mtimkulu is live for us in Soweto, and Dasen Thathiah comes live to us from Durban. Manqoba, let me start with you. Of course, the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial within a trial has been adjourned until Monday after a lawyer for accused number 1 and 2, that's Advocate Hloni Mngomezulu, called in sick. Tell us more about what's happened throughout the course of this week and what we might expect next week, Monday.
Well, certainly, Maseko, you recall that we're still in the trial within a trial, which is trying to determine the admissibility of 2 confessions that were made by accused number 1 and 2. So they've been contending that they were forced and coerced into making these confessions, and they say they were assaulted and tortured by police officers. And we had a detective in the Senzo Meyiwa murder investigation who came to court just disputing some of their versions, saying that none of them had been assaulted. There was also an issue around the 17 hours that accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, was booked out for on the 18th of June in 2020. This was just 2 days after he had been arrested and a day before he made that first confession before police. So one of the issues that emanated from that is a question as to what was happening in that 17 hours. And of course, the defense is insisting that this is a time that Bongani Ntanzi had been assaulted. The police investigator says, no, we went and did other investigations. It accompanied me to those particular investigations. So there was a new application that was made in court yesterday, and this application relates to a vehicle tracking system and a report that comes from that particular system that pinpoints exactly where the investigator had gone on that day with Bongani Ntanzi, accounting for all of those hours that he had been unaccounted for. And yesterday the state had made an application for it to be introduced as evidence in court, new evidence in court. And of course there was supposed to be an argument. The defense of course was objecting to this particular application by the state, so we were supposed to hear the arguments on that, but however that was delayed due to the illness of one of the lawyers, that being Advocate Mngomezulu. But of course the court was not impressed at all with the fact that earlier on he had indicated that as a defense they are now going to actually stop with that particular objection, but later on changed their tune. But take a listen to what the judge had to say.
Okay, so we'll postpone to Monday. I'm sorry about this. Where's Mr. Sergeant Mchunu? Yes. Sir, I'm sorry, we can't continue today because Mr. Mngomezulu is incapacitated physically, he's not able to come. So we will continue on Monday. I'm sorry about that. Mr. Balo, even the evidence of Sergeant Mohola, we can't continue with it because according to Mr. Ramsepidi, Advocate Mngomezulu is seized with a brief for the trial within a trial. So you can't call any evidence or witness without Mr. Mngomezulu being around. Okay. All right. Okay, finally then, any person among the councils who still wants to object to the evidence of the AVL must prepare heads of argument, okay, including the state. On Monday we shouldn't come here and say, well, I thought we were not going to go on, therefore I didn't do ABC.
All right, Hloni, let me come to you. You're, of course, in Soweto, where a new tactical reaction unit within the JMPD has been launched. This is to deal with violent crimes plaguing the city of Joburg. What's the new unit's mandate and what difference are they expected to make?
Yeah, you know, Maseko, you ask about this difference, and when you think about it, Gauteng residents and Joburg specifically, you already have a tactical response team within SAPS. You have SAPS themselves, of course. You have the JMPD within the city of Joburg, and you also have the crime prevention wardens, the Premier's crime prevention wardens. And so now you seem to be having an additional mechanism or an additional unit that is meant to be fighting crime within the city. And I don't know about you, Maseko, Masejo, but I don't know if any of these different units and different tactical teams and all of that have made you feel any safer, but it seems like an addition to the crime situation in the country. But we have been explained too that JMPD, since its inception in 2001, has not had a tactical response unit of this kind. That JMPD actually works in threefold, which is one of them is that they obviously enforce traffic laws as they do, they enforce the bylaws, and then there should be a unit that combats crime, and there isn't a unit that combats crime, or there hasn't been one, and so this is essentially what it is. So again, questions about since 2001, for the past 23 years, this hasn't been the case. Why it's being launched now? Will it make a difference? But there was a lot of talk about we need to decrease the crime, that we need to fight fire with fire, that we're not here to negotiate with criminals, that we want to restore trust in the community, from the different speakers that spoke. So you had the acting chief of police, Angie Mugasi, speaking. You had the mayor of Johannesburg, I think he just passed behind me. And then we also had the MMC for public safety, who was launching this initiative. And he was very heavy-handed and very hard-hitting in terms of this mandate that these newly trained officers within the JMPD are meant to have. And let's hear from the MMC in terms of the shoot-to-kill mandate that they do have, Masejo.
Any thug, any criminal that is pointing a gun on police officer or any member of the community, we are going to shoot to kill. We will not hesitate to shoot. This squad here has been mandated, very simply, not to negotiate with criminals. We'll shoot to kill. Because at this point in time, the thugs and criminals have the guts to even hijack and kill police officers. The criminals nowadays, they have the guts to go into a police station and rob a police station. Baslibe, Utsotsi is going to run now.
All right, so Dasen, we've just heard a short while ago that a well-known media personality in KZN has been served with summons. Do we have any more information on who this is and what the summons pertain to?
I think perhaps I'll just start with the identity, which we are aware of, but unfortunately we are unable to share that just yet because of the Criminal Procedure Act, and we'll only be able to do that when this person appears in court. But I think to better understand this case, I'll have to take you a few years back, and that's to about 2020. And at that time, police in KwaZulu-Natal were investigating a matter which led them to a property in that northern KZN area. And on that property, they then discovered firearms, 3 of them in fact, and they were later found out now in fact to have been stolen. 2 of them were taken during a farm robbery in Richmond in 2016. So this discovery was made, those firearms, as well as, we're told, a stolen vehicle engine that was on that property. And during that time, these firearms then had to be sent for ballistics testing, and an investigation continued from that point. And it was now, in this week, in fact, that a summons had been served on that property owner. And that property owner is the media personality that we are talking about. So what this essentially means is that come December, in fact, in the second week of December, she'll have to make an appearance at court. That's when she'll be formally charged. But we have verified that she's received the summons. She is aware of the charges she will be facing, and she will then have to make that appearance in court. Obviously, if she doesn't make that appearance, or for any reason doesn't present herself to court, she will then be arrested by police in relation to this matter. So it is quite a serious case. I mean, one of those firearms that was found there at the scene was in fact an AK-47. Another one was a .303 rifle. So these are really high caliber weapons that were found there. But this particular personality has also been speaking out quite strongly against police. In fact, she shared certain views about what she had called the heavy-handedness of police officers in how they conduct their business. So this matter will be in court in the second week of December, and hopefully at that point we'll find out more of those details. We'll be able to name this individual and also find out if there are any other charges that she will be facing.
All right, that was your eNCA lunchtime update from all angles with reporters Dasen, Thathiah, Hloni, Mtimkulu and Manqoba Mchunu. Thank you, team. Let's leave it there for now.